What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another great episode of Rotalk. If this is your first time being here at the channel, me being Ro tells you all the news that you need to know about One Piece, and especially these two chapters, 1059 and 1060. And I'm just so excited to start talking about these two chapters. I had a ball reading these, and I've read them a couple of times, back and forth and back, all the way around, up and down.
Sideways and slant ways and long ways and back ways
and
square ways and front ways and any other ways that you can think of.
It was just great chapters, and I just, once again, cannot wait to talk to you about these chapters. So without further ado, let's go! So obviously we will be diving into chapter 1059 first and then make our way up to 1060. And one thing that I really did enjoy about 1059 was the fact that we have more information. And the information that I really did enjoy about the chapter was why Yamato really decided to stay at Wano. She had a duty.
It's not that kind of duty.
To have a defense up, so if any other pirates came to attack Wano, she will be there to protect it. And also at the same time, that will give Luffy and the others, putting their mind at ease that they don't have to worry about Wano being attacked from any other pirates. I did feel like that was a great idea, but it still was like, come on now, we built all this stuff up. Ace told her that he would come back for her, be on her pirate crew, and then Luffy broke her chain so she could finally decide to be free and be Oden and go on an adventure to see what the One Piece was. Maybe she has enough information of what the world is, what Oden has written down in his journal, and that's why she's not trying to really go for the travels and adventure around the world, and she just feels like at home it's Wano and you gotta protect that. And that's fine and all daddy, but we still, I really just wanted to see Yamato with the crew. And then the other thing that we had here too is that we had two people that didn't join a certain crew, and that was the other person was Marco. We see Marco was getting a ride back with Shanks in this chapter, and just thinking about how Shanks offered Marco to join his crew and Yamato was going to join his Luffy crew. Those are two powerhouses that's very capable and very strong, and if those two people decided to join up with those pirate groups, the potential and the ceiling is so high that that would have just been flat out just super cool. I wonder in future down the line, later on, will those two people eventually join up with those pirate crews? Because if Marco joins up with Shanks and Yamato joins up with Luffy, are they gonna have like a battle one day? Maybe Yamato versus Marco or something like that, just to see who gets the right to claim the One Piece. That'd be pretty cool. And we already have so many other ways too. We have Luffy versus Shanks, Ben Beckman versus Zoro, and stuff like that. That'd just be really cool to see that, all that stuff come back later on. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's continue on with the chapter 1059. So we did actually also get a interaction between Marco and Luffy, and how Marco was saying that to Luffy that Ace would be, you know, kind of proud of you right now off of all the stuff that you're doing. And Luffy was saying thank you for all the stuff that you did and helped me back at Marineford, for saving my life and everything. So we finally did get an interaction between them. I thought it would be a little bit longer, something like keep your head up, you know, just a little bit longer, like a couple pages of important stuff like, hey Luffy, learn this about hockey or something like that. Hey, tell him some backstory about Ace or something like that. But we did get a little brief interaction between them, and that was good. And that's some of the things that was lacking in Wano, some of the interactions that we wanted to see it happening, and some of like just other information that was not really shown that Oda just like, I feel like Oda is probably trying to rush through these things. His last series and his last final arc, I think he's rushing to get to that, and we're like, I'm gonna cover it up in some other type of way through these chapters, to the final arc chapters, because we do get that now, as you see in the chapter with Yamato and now with Marco. Now we get to Boa Hancock that was in this chapter, and right out the bat, we already see that she still wants to marry Luffy. And I was thinking about this. If Luffy is trying to proclaim and become the king of the pirates, and right now the pirate empress is who? Hancock. So isn't that really a foreshadowing of them two being together at the end of the whole entire series in some type of way? I feel like it is going to happen, and then I think Oda said before that he doesn't like drawing like love stories or whatever, anything like that. But I feel like he has to. Pirate Empress, Pirate King, like that's just, it has to go together. Like it has to. So I just feel like for sure it will be. A lot of people was thinking about Nami Luffy, Robin Luffy, Rebecca Luffy, but I really starting to believe, I'm shipping it right now, Luffy and Hancock. But the main reason we're talking about Hancock in this chapter is because she was attacked by the Marines and they had the SSG. And that's something I wanted to talk about with you guys for a long time now. The SSG, what are they really? And how are they that strong? If Mihawk managed to survive from the SSG when they came to invade his island, Crocodile managed to survive as well too. And also we have that Buggy survived, and we know why Buggy survived. So we have the SSG getting really shown here in this chapter. And what they are the new Sephiroth pacifistas. And if you don't know what a Sephiroth is, Sephiroths are these hierarchy angels that's supposed to reside in heaven, and they're supposed to resemble us as a child. And that's why you see these pacifistas now in the story that look like a child. So I think Oda is trying to play around with that and give you Sephiroth's children and then the Sephiroth's pacifistas. And these Sephiroth pacifistas are, I mean, they are really strong. Just about some of the things they did in the chapter. One, they already strong, and then two, they look like children, so you won't fight them because you can't hit a kid like that's just wrong to do that. So they has the advantage of that as well too. And they kind of look pretty beastly, and I'm just still kind of trying to figure out why they haven't had too much success already if they're looking this cold, what we see in this chapter. One of the pacifistas looked like Boa Hancock to me, and then the other one looked like a younger version of King when he was a kid. So I feel like both of those characters were both prisoned and married Joel at one point. Boa Hancock was a slave, and King was also up there getting experimented on, or he was in Punk Hazard getting experimented on. And I feel like in those experimentations on her being a slave, I feel like they did use some parts of their DNA to use them into these new pacifistas. We also did get to see back at Punk Hazard, what did Punk Hazard also have? They had children there as well too. So I feel like in some type of way that children has like this, I guess, weaker DNA, or that you could be able to manipulate in some type of way to be able to create these strong pacifistas, Sephiroths, and that's why they are being used right now. Which makes me think that who do we know that loves children in the story and is on our pirate crew? Nami. Nami, I feel like she will definitely have a strong part in the story, especially what happened in Punk Hazard, how all those kids came to Nami's side and how Nami really cared for them. And one thing that you've seen in last arc back in Wano, that if you mess with Otama, Nami was not going to play around with that. You mess with kids, Nami had like this like demeanor about herself that flips the switch real quick. She don't care who you are, she's ready to fight. So I feel like Nami will have a great importance later down in the story. And as the Sephiroths are attacking Amazon Lily, we see that, behold, Blackbeard shows up at the exact same time. Blackbeard is the real reason why Blackbeard was out to get the same thing that the Marines was getting, was the fact that he wanted to get Boa Hancock powers. And he's talking to his crewmate, said, I don't care what you do with her after I'm done with her, as long as I get her powers. And that's what only thing that he really wanted from at the time. And I'm still trying to figure out why would Blackbeard want Boa Hancock's power. She shoots stones, she shoots arrows to turn people into stones, and if you look at her, she's turning stones similar to Medusa. And I just don't see the importance of Blackbeard having a part in power, and why would he search that? Like, we obviously saw him do his deep research of trying to get Whitebeard's power in his own Yami darkness fruit power, and he did his research. He had the book, so I feel like it's some type of importance that Boa Hancock power does also have as well too. Maybe she has an awakening ability that we don't know about yet, but Blackbeard does, and he can use it once he steals her powers. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen in this chapter. After Boa Hancock gets captured by Blackbeard, who pops up was none other than Rayleigh, the Dark King himself, saying that, hey, teach, put her down. If you put her down, she will turn your allies back to regular, and they will not be stone creatures no more. And if you kill her, basically, if you kill her, they will remain stone, but you will have their power. And Blackbeard was really going to make that sacrifice, but Rayleigh stepped in just in the nick of time, and he was able to resolve the fight peacefully. But there was a catch at the end of 159. Kobe was there at Amazon Lily trying to capture Boa Hancock, but he failed. And after all, when Rayleigh popped up and Blackbeard was there, Blackbeard ended up capturing Kobe. I feel like Kobe didn't get really captured. I feel like Kobe went with him, and I think that's just the headline that's going out right now. I feel like Kobe is trying to serve a bigger purpose. Maybe he's trying to go find Aokiji. We know that Kobe is part of Sword, so I feel like there is something else that's going on behind the scenes that the reader is not knowing yet, just because of the big headline that says Kobe was captured. Also, we do see in this chapter that Kobe is talking to Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is saying, hey Kobe, thank you for helping me out at the Rocky Port incident that helped me defeat someone. And maybe in some type of way that Blackbeard is trying to use Kobe as a mediator for him to be able to take over something else. Maybe he's going to use Kobe to get into Marijoa and try to proclaim or get some type of power from Marijoa, since Kobe isn't like, Kobe always has been this mediator, trying to have people stop fighting and stop with the wars, and trying to save as many lives as he possibly can. So maybe Blackbeard will use that to his advantage. Fun fact that we do have in chapter 1059, we also do see Shanky here with Wrigley. And the reason why it's important to see Shanky here is that she was the former captain of the Keiju Pirates 2 generations ago. So the person that Nayline was talking about that died, that had the love sickness, it wasn't actually that she died. She just fell in love with a man, and that man was Rayleigh. So we actually have the actuality right now. And speaking of love stories, didn't I just talk about love stories previously, all the way in the beginning of this? So come on now, it gotta make sense. But now, here it is that we have this information about Shanky. It's important to have that information here, because if Shanky was a former captain in Keiju Pirates, which was women only, but she decided to leave that and go marry a man that was Rayleigh, and then the next generation that we don't have clarifications about that did the exact same thing. Now Boa Hancock is also having the same thing too. It just feels like it's destined to have that to happen, that Luffy and Boa Hancock to be an item one day. And the last thing I want to talk about on chapter 1059 is the fact that I really didn't think that Boa Hancock was this strong. Because in my previous top 30, I did not have her on there whatsoever. But I think the next time I do a top 30, I think I gotta start putting her on there, because not even though that she has this capability of like stoning like a whole army of people in a matter of seconds, she also does get a lot of credit from Kobe. Kobe is saying that he didn't even know that she was this tough. She has some great toughness and some resolve about herself. And then at the same time, Blackbeard is going after her devil fruit power, so that is putting her up higher as well too, because Blackbeard is not fooling around with these little games. He's going out for big fish, and he's definitely going for a big fish in Boa Hancock. So I think that does have to serve some type of some notability that she is like this high up on Blackbeard's list. And she was doing her thing against those pacifistas too, so it shows to the world that she is strong enough to handle her own, and maybe she's gonna be in my top 30 for next year. Just make sure you stay in with Rotalk. Make sure you are subscribed, and so you will know next time we do a top 30. Next is chapter 1060, and boy, oh boy, was his chapter great. Chapter starts off with Luffy defending his brother Sabo. Sabo is claimed to be had killed a king, and that king was none other than our boy Cobra. And Luffy is basically saying that he knows his brother. He knows his brother would not do a thing like that.
I fucking known him for 2 weeks. He wouldn't fucking do something like that.
And he is really hurt about that fact that nobody knows what BB is at this moment. Luffy is saying, we're gonna stop doing what we're doing right now. We are going after BB. We're gonna find our friend. And then everybody else was aboard. Chopper, Sanji, Nami. They was like, yeah, we are gonna find BB. We were going after BB. We're gonna look for her. And then Zoro, being the right-hand man that he is saying that, hey, we can't just stop doing what we are doing at the moment. If they are truly in danger and we know their location, we are going to go help them. But just like you did with Ace before, Luffy, you need to do the exact same thing with Vivi and believe in her that she is powerful enough and capable enough to be able to take care of her own. And which was really cool to see Zoro being level-headed at the exact same time. But then again, Zoro, Zoro, you my boy, but at the same time, what happened to Ace at the end? Like, what happened to Ace when Luffy let Ace go do his own thing and didn't have his back? Like, just imagine if Ace did have Luffy's support when he was fighting Blackbeard, and then Luffy's whole pirate crew was there to help him out too. Things probably could have changed, and Ace probably would have never went to Marineford and died. So, same thing here. Maybe Vivi needs somebody to go after her and get some help. But for right now, we cannot tell. Zoro do respect your opinion, but the rest of your crewmates did not respect your opinion, calling you all types of names, Zoro, and it was just flat out funny just to see all these names that Zoro was being called. You got to check it out. And also, at the exact same time that we're hearing this information about Luffy wanting to go to Alabasta, we going up there right now. We also do have Caribou back in the barrel once again. Don't know how he got back in there. I'm hoping that Caribou was trying to make that important phone call to tell somebody where Pluton was at, that Frankie probably just put him back up in there once again. That's what I'm hoping. Hopefully that Oda did not show us that, but he's gonna show us that later down the road. But other than that, Caribou probably snuck back on the pirate crew ship once again, and now just trying to learn all the information that he possibly can. And I wonder, who is he really talking to? I feel like it has to be Blackbeard, but I feel like now it's starting to get into some shaky territory, because if Blackbeard is all the way across the world trying to get on Amazon Lily and fighting them and not going after Pluton at this moment, after hearing that information, just don't feel like that is right at the moment. I feel like Blackbeard would hear the word about Pluton and obviously go to Wano, but now it seems like maybe Caribou is telling somebody else this secret information. And then also at the same time, we met Caribou back on Bodhi, and so Bodhi, he was looking for somebody to be a underling to. That's why he joined the fake Luffy crew, and he was trying to be a part of the real pirate crew of the Straw Hats, but he got in the fake Luffy crew, and he was very upset about that. And why was he doing all this if he did have somebody in importance to tell this information to about a Pluton and Poseidon? It doesn't really add up there. And who in that time span, because I think the last time we saw him was down in Fishman Island, and at that point he still hasn't met anybody at that time. And the only person probably could have met was Peckham's, and Peckham's was on a Big Mom, and Big Mom is at Wano underneath all that water and lava, so it really is not adding up to me at this point. So maybe it was a little skip between that time from Fishman Island to Wano that Caribou had an interaction with somebody, but I just don't believe that at this moment. And who knows? I could be wrong, but I think most likely I'm gonna be right. And guys, I know everybody that read the chapter 1060 pretty much hated this part when Robin was basically telling, hey Luffy, I got some more great important information. Did you want to hear about it? And Luffy was like, nah, just tell me something that you know I would like or whatever. And I just feel like that is just the way that Oda it just keep teasing us with this big information that we haven't heard yet. And Oda, just give us this. This is the final arc. Just start feeding us this thing. We can start taking it. You know, we've been here with you since 1999. But honestly, it was just another tease once again from Oda. And then Oda didn't stop there with his teasing. He also did tease us with what Roger said and what Luffy is saying that their true dream is. Everybody says that Luffy's true dream is to become the king of the pirates, which is true. He does want to do that, but he also has something he wants to accomplish after he becomes the king of the pirates. I feel like it has to be on something of a superhero. And hear me out. We all heard that Luffy says he doesn't want to be a superhero because then he has to share all the food with everybody. And I feel like that is the perfect reaction to have everybody to look like. Because imagine this, if Luffy is laying down on Sunny and is saying that, guys, my true thing is I want to be the world's greatest superhero at the end. Zoro is going to look at him shocked. Jinbei is going to look like, oh, what are you talking about? We were pirates. Like, what have I got myself into? And Nami is understanding him like, oh, that sounds about right, Luffy. I can see you already being like that. And everybody is laughing about it because it's something that Luffy always said he did not want to do. So I feel like that is the perfect thing for him. I will probably be wrong about this. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's my only guess I have to say. Or the other thing I have actually is had the world greatest party that ever was. Something on the lines like that. I'm really curious of what Oda is trying to tell us, but stop with all this teasing, man. Like, just give us this information. It's gonna be a long time till we actually have this information. It's gonna drive me crazy. But I feel like how we can really get the details of Luffy's true dream is what is Blackbeard's true dream. Because if Blackbeard's true dream is to turn everybody into stone, then Luffy's true dream is to not to do that and have everybody be as free as possible. That's just something, you know, because they are both opposites. So whatever Blackbeard's true goal is to be, if Blackbeard's true goal is to be the king of the world one day, then Luffy's opposite of that, his be to bring everybody freedom and everybody be their own king. So those are the things that we had to know, and I feel like we'll get Blackbeard's true dream first before we get Luffy's. And the next couple pages was my favorite parts of the chapter because it was just like breathtaking, just straight up breathtaking, because we have Sabo trying to make a phone call to his revolutionary army and dragging in everybody, telling the world that he did not kill King Cobra. And the revolutionary army is not going after kings, they are going after the celestial dragons, the nobles, the people that's on Mary Joa. That's who their real fight is with, not with kings and the people that is trying to do right with their kingdom. That's not their really problem. Their really problem is with celestial dragons, and that was what Sabo was saying. And at the same time, Sabo had some important information that he needed to tell the Revolutionary Army. Same time that he is trying to tell the Revolutionary Army this, the Marines are intercepting the call and they can hear all this. And which is bringing another scary impact into the story, because Imu-san is overhearing everything that's going on at the moment. And as the words of Sabo is trying to get out, saying, I got to tell you something about the empty throne that sits on top of Mary Joa, Imu-san knew what time it was. Imu-san said, hey, cut all interceptions, cut it all off right now. And then at the same time, with that, Sabo is still trying to go on. He said the throne does not sit alone. The throne is actually have somebody sitting on it. And by the time that Sabo can get out the words, all communications was cut off. And at the same time as that, Imu-san said, and in that island that he was on as well too, don't worry about the island, because I'm not leaving no evidence whatsoever. And he sends down this eradicating beam that eradicated the whole island. Just imagine when we seen in Nail's power, when you said his name and then a whole big crater just came down onto Sky Island. Now imagine that like 1,000 times stronger of a completing, eradicating, and the whole entire island just at the whim. Like, this is like some next level stuff in One Piece. I don't even know how anybody can survive from anything like that. The people that we say, the Goro say that's working for Amazon, are they really the bad guys at the end of the day? Because if they are really like seeing what Amazon can do, eradicate the whole island in a matter of seconds, I would probably try to have some people up there to please that guy, so he would want to just obliterate the whole entire world. And I feel like that's the Gorosei main goal, is to make him happy so he won't be able to eradicate everybody from the world. And that's why they get so mad with pirates, because with pirates, they tend to look for treasure and gold and the whole entire world. They go search for answers and stuff like that. And that's why robbing people died too, because they was looking for answers. And when you do that in a way, it affects what they are trying to do. So the only way it's like to kill, they have to kill tens of thousands of people to save millions and millions of people. They feel like that is a better scenario for that, to save millions and millions of people, to save the 10,000s of people. And I feel like the Gorosei is actually just being controlled by Amazon. And I do not know if Sabo is still alive at this moment. I gotta imagine that he is in some type of way. He is a Logia Silver Fruit user, but at the same time, that light and then Sabo looking up to it, it just looked like it's all over for everybody that was on that island. And I believe that power is coming from, it has to be Uranus. Okay, not that, guys. Be mature. Uranus is the ancient weapon that we have not seen yet. We've seen Poseidon, we know where she is at, and then we do know where Pluton is at. So we know where two ancient weapons at. We don't know what the third one is at, and the third one has to be in Marijoa, and that is Uranus. And Uranus is supposed to be the god of the sky and everything, and that is exactly where Marijoa is at. So it has to be up there, and I feel like it is some next level type of stuff of I don't know what that could honestly be. I feel like it has to be some type of being. We've seen it eradicate a whole island, but I don't know if it's actually a rifle, a weapon, or some type of Vegapunk creation that he has created. Or maybe it could be just Vegapunk itself, just a person that can create anything and destroy lands. We won't know until Oda give us that information, and believe me, it's gonna be a while till we actually see Uranus fully with our eyes and see it eradicated another island. And the last thing we see in chapter 1060 was, I think, the most important information that we can get. I'm just gonna jump straight into it, and that is seeing Juri Bani. Juri Bani was at Marijoa when everything happened. Well, when Sabo was up there fighting against Fujitora and Green Bull, when Sabo was maybe even seeing the person that sat on the empty throne, he probably told Juri Bani. So I feel like this is going to be important information that Juri Bani is about to give the Straw Hats. They actually saved Juri Bani while she was in the big old wintry storm. Things are about to get real heavy with Luffy and the crew, because once they hear this information about Sabo, that what happened to him, or maybe they hear more information what Sabo went through, I think directions will be changed and Luffy's going after his brother. And if you guys remember, Luffy did have Sabo's VV card, and the VV card gives you the capability of knowing where that person is at all times. And if the VV card is burning, that person is not doing well at that moment, and they are at the brink of their life. And I feel like some type of miraculous way that Luffy is going to receive his VV card, Sabo's VV card, and he's going to start to go on that adventure towards Sabo to save his brother, since he couldn't save his brother last time of Ace. And this time he is bringing his whole entire crew, which is Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei. They all coming too, guys. They all coming to it, and it's going to change out things differently this time, and this will have a greater result at the end of it. And then they go make their way up to Marijoa to help Saba with his issue. But guys, it was fun once again doing the chapter review with you guys. We had 2 chapters, and I hope I gave you great content and great quality, and I hope you guys all did enjoy it. But for the next time, my Nakuma, my family, my friends, peace.